Hey, today I want to show you how to send and receive SMS from your V0 application. Now, I've barely used V0, so if I can do it, you can do it too. Now, for this to work, we need to come up with a fake project. And the project I've thought of is maybe an appointment scheduler, a very simple one that it's going to let me schedule appointments for my office and send people reminders about their appointment. So let's get started with that. So I've asked V0 to create a simple appointment schedule app for a fake dental clinic. I really just need a form where I can put in like the patient name and whatever, get their number, get their email, and then use that for sending and receiving SMS. Here it is. So let's go ahead, test this out. Perfect. Now that we have this working, it's time to add in the SMS. Let's say we want the patient to receive a text from us when we schedule the appointment for them. Now, here's the tricky part. You need an SMS provider for this to work. SMS providers are companies that work with telecom companies. They take your request programmatically and deliver it as a real SMS without you actually touching your phone out or having a real phone number. I'm the founder of Pingram.io. Pingram.io is a multi-channel messaging API. It works for SMS, emails, voice, and so on. We have a very generous free tier with 100 SMS to the US and 3,000 emails. And also, the reason I believe Pingram is the right tool for you is that you can literally set it up in minutes, and we're going to see how that works. So press sign up, and after you're in, you should be in a page like this one. Go to the SMS section. Here you can put in your number. You can send a test SMS and make sure that our SMS is working for your number. I got the SMS on my phone, which means Pingram supports my country. Now, there are code samples here. If you're a software developer, you want to code it yourself, but you honestly don't need to. Let's go back to V0 and ask V0 to do what we need to do with Pingram. You may be asked to add the Pingram package to your project. Now, I've tried this multiple times for different projects. Sometimes the SMS doesn't go out. And I have that fixed with just another prompt saying, hey, the SMS doesn't work. Double check your work, your integration with Pingram. Now, you may be asked for your Pingram API key here. And you can find your API key in this code here. It says API key, or you can go to the API key section and find it there too. All right, let's book another appointment and see if it works. Failed to send SMS notification. Now we can just ask V0 to solve this. Okay, let's try this again. Awesome. Let me check my phone. Here it is. That's all you need to send SMS using Pingram with V0. It literally took a minute. Now, let me talk about the security concerns of doing this. If you have a form on the internet that allows people to initiate an SMS or email or any sort of communication with people, there are spammers, scammers, and abusers whose job is to find these forms and abuse them to hell. So for example, if you're making this form public, some bot will find it and fill it out 1,000,000 times and put, for example, in the notes section, put links to a crypto scam or something like that. Or for example, say, hey, this is your appointment, but don't forget to pay for this appointment in this link. There are two things to think about when you're doing anything with SMS and email. One, who can initiate an SMS or email workflow? Is it everybody on the internet, or is it verified users, for example? The second thing is, what goes into the SMS and email that's going to people? For this appointment app, I wouldn't just publish it like this, because then this form is on the internet. I would wrap it in authentication, because really it's the dental clinic members, the staff that should have access to this. Sometimes you have to make this kind of forms or functionality public. So for example, a contact form that needs to notify a business owner that the form was filled out by maybe a potential client. What do you do in that case? You make sure that whoever's filling the form cannot select who receives this form So they cannot select, just somebody else's random number. It's always going to be the business owner's number. 2, you want to make sure you clean up the notes from malicious scripts, malicious links. And lastly, you want to throttle. What if a spammer comes in and submits this form 1 billion times? You'll be charged for 1 billion SMS or emails. So you want to make sure there are CAPTCHAs. You want to make sure the function that's running this, the notification of this form is throttled to maybe only once a minute, and other forms of controlling forms, which you've probably faced before yourself. All right, now that we can send SMS, let's work on receiving SMS from the client. Let's go ahead and ask V0 to do that too. Now, receiving SMS is done through a feature called Webhooks in Pingram. So I'm going to just tell V0 that we're going to use the Pingram webhooks to make sure we receive the SMS correctly. Now, here's the thing. SMS comes in, Pingram knows. How does Pingram let your application know? With a webhook, it's an API that's exposed to Pingram. Pingram is going to let that webhook know that SMS came in, and then your application can take care of doing whatever it needs to do. For this to work, we're going to publish. I told you, be careful about publishing this. I'm going to publish it just for this demo, and then I delete the project after. Now that it's published, you need to take this webhook address. You need to make sure it's your actual Vercel domain, which you can get from here, and making sure it has all this stuff after it. So API webhook Pingram. You go to Pingram dashboard. There's a section for webhooks, and we put in the address here. Don't forget the part at the end, the whole thing. And Pingram is going to let your system know about inbound SMS. So SMS that's coming in. And that's pretty much enough. We don't need anything else. We save that and it's ready to go. Let's test it out. I got the text. Now I'm going to reply yes. Now I have replied yes, but nothing has happened here. When you're stuck, you can always go to Pingram, go to the log section, and here you see a record of everything you've sent and received. So here I can see this this text that we sent, and I can also see that it was delivered successfully, and I also see that there was an inbound reply to it, and the webhook has failed to deliver. So I'm gonna go back to V0, explain this issue to V0, and hope that it gets it right this time. So I'll ask V0 to triple check. The webhook cannot be reached. Please ensure the webhook works correctly. Now I'll give it a hint. Check Pingram documentation to make sure your webhook is set up correctly. All right, let's try, let's publish and try from scratch. Replied yes. Perfect. There it is. There it is, folks. Overall, I'm impressed with V0. I'm impressed because it thinks a lot. Like when you give it a task like, create me this dental management, whatever, it thinks for minutes and it builds software for minutes before stopping and giving up. The other thing I like is the free tier. That took us very far. Like it built a form, storage, showing the dental appointments, sending the SMS. That was all in the free tier. It was crazy to me. So kudos to them. Because I like this so much, I'm definitely going to create more videos with this V0. I kind of enjoyed the experience. Hope you enjoyed this one and hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.